I was commissioned to build a smaller conference table for a customer in San Antonio for their new office. They are a pool builder, so obviously a Blue River table is on the menu. They left the wood choice pretty much up to me, so I ended up picking up some black gum slabs from my local mill, which, if you're in Texas, this guy has some of the best slabs at a super reasonable price, so message me and I'll pass that info along. We first need to square these slabs up so they're able to actually fit into the mold, which we will build later. Now, I probably should be wearing some type of safety equipment, or at least safety glasses, so kids, do not try this at home. We are cutting them a little on the larger side so we can square them up later. That just makes my job, in the end, a little bit easier. We now need to make the mold. Now, my method of making molds probably isn't the best, but it's what has worked for me for these past few years, and well, it's also worked for my machinery and my laziness. So I'll just continue to do it. My philosophy is to use my time wisely, and I mean let my CNC clean up my mess while I take a nap. Once these slabs are in the mold, we get to pour in the epoxy. My customer pretty much said, hey, you can choose whatever color blue you think will work. And so the color that I chose was a custom blue color, which is a combination of 5 different blues, silver, and then a tad bit of white. We mix the epoxy according to the manufacturer and pour. We are pouring a little deep here due to it being kind of cold outside, so the added heat of the deep epoxy shouldn't be an issue. We actually split these colors up into 2 separate pours, so don't think I actually poured 2 inches of tabletop epoxy. We let these layers cure for a few days, and then we come back with a layer of clear. Now, to give this logo a 3D effect, I'm pouring a thin layer of clear, and then we will engrave a logo to make it look like it's floating. Once dry, we get the table on the CNC for a 5-hour engraving session. They did want a white logo, so some sparkle bright white pigment it is. Once cured, we sand the logo back, which I forgot to film. I know, I am a moron. We take the table back over to the warehouse where we will pour the last river layer of the epoxy. This will fill the river portion in, completing the logo and giving that river the 3D effect. It's really important that this layer has no bubbles as to it's the topmost layer, so lots of fire to get those bubbles out and get that epoxy looking crystal clear. Once we let it cure for a few days, we get cutting it all to size, which of course my track saw is a tad bit too shallow. So we get out trusty old Mr. Hammer. Now it's off to the CNC machine to get it flat. This is where I'm really glad I bought this thing. It saves me so much time and my back. Now, after many hours of sanding from all the way to 120 to 600 grit, we finally get this thing nice and flat. Now, I know I also forgot to mention that too, because, well, I am an idiot. Now it's time to do the first coat of epoxy, which is the seal layer. Now, this layer is super important. Not only does this help harden the wood and make it more dense, it also helps prevent bubbles in the next layer, ensuring a bubble-free top coat. And this is also the time where we get to see that color really pop and really come to life. We let that cure for a few days, sand the top with 320 grit sandpaper, and then we pour that oh so sweet flood coat. So for this table, we opted for an epoxy top coat, which is that super shiny, like glass-like appearance. And then on the sides, I opted for more of a matte finish. I'll still go ahead and actually seal that with epoxy after this layer is done doing it. So that's why there's some blue tape on the sides, creating a dam. That way it keeps all the epoxy up on top and doesn't let it overflow on the edges. Now after that cures, we again sand and polish, and for some reason I just keep forgetting to film this step. I know I am a moron. But we haul this over to San Antonio once done and deliver it to our customer. They were super happy with this table, and hopefully their customers will like it also. If you have any questions about our build process or want a table of your own, feel free to visit us at www.novakwoodworks.com.